Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Rostermania questions continuing last night, but Shotzzy also revealing exactly what he thought in the most recent Modern Warfare 3 title. Definitely it seems this OpTic team and Shotzzy especially more excited for Black Ops 6 than they were for Modern Warfare 3 that they just played for the last several months. But even then, Shotzzy of course still came away as the world champion on this particular title. Very much interested to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I greatly appreciate it. We're going to talk about Simp. We're going to talk about what's going on with his potential team for the new year. Quickly though, one more set of Lion Man cards for the most recent season coming out of Awakening. 2024 cards, not what we are used to seeing from Big Wake. I mean, these numbers are actually tragic. I mean, like, what is this? 0.73 in search online, 0.68 in search on LAN. Like, look, his respawn KDs on LAN weren't absolutely dreadful, but this is not the year that we expected from Big Wake. I mean, over the last couple of years, the debate has been, he's got a 1.3 and they're losing. What's going on? Now he's got a 0.7 and they're losing. You know, like he's still losing. So, you know, the team this most recent season wasn't good. Of course, he didn't last the entire year. He played for the Rocker this most recent season. And at the start of the season, Lamar accuracy was looking pretty damn good. Awakening was lagging behind. And there was a feeling of, well, if Wake just turns up with Lins and Vivid, because Lins and Vivid, especially Lins, were playing very well at the start of the year alongside accuracy, the feeling was, look, if Wake just turns up as we'd expect him to, that Rocker team could be pretty nice. They came top 4 right at the first event of the season. That never happened, however. Accuracy then started to fall off somewhat, and Gunless eventually came in. DiamondCon was there right at the World Cup, and you know, Awakening was actually playing for Boston at the World Cup and did a marginally better job there. So to me, it just seems like it wasn't Big Wake's game. I mean, for whatever reason, he just didn't really mesh here with Modern Warfare 3. There are probably other factors as well. You know, there's always maybe outside of the game stuff that can happen when players have a bit of a fall off. But he's a player that's built up enough like catalogue or reputation, whatever you want to say, over the last few years to still be given a good opportunity going forward. So that's what's going to be happening on the Boston Breach for next season alongside Cammy. But look, if it doesn't work out next year on Boston, that might well be it for Awakening, right? Despite you know, how good he's been so far, 2 down years is possibly enough to, you know, end a career at the Pro League level. So definitely got to keep an eye on him and that roster going into the new season. One big question that I have though as well is what's going on right now with Slasher, right? Not a name that's really been talked about much. I thought this is pretty funny here, the new A's hat, which looks potentially like something else. And Slasher was like, oh, no way I'm going to be wearing that one for the new season. But look, depends what roster he gets, I suppose. There's a big question on Slasher because he had his, of course, stint on FaZe, and even if FaZe, let's say, lost at the World Cup and they decided to blow it up, I think there was an argument to say that bringing Slasher in there again might not have been the worst idea ever. Like, I really rate Slasher as a player, and also on Treyarch games, Slasher historically has been very good indeed. So I'm surprised that Slasher isn't in more of these conversations, personally. We've talked about earlier today what's going on with Cloud9, and the rumours are starting to lean towards the fact that Sib potentially will be staying over there, probably with the keys to the roster, because let's be real, HyDra I don't think had a problem with Sib really, according to rumours, but Skyz seemingly did, or Kismet did, I don't know. That duo and Sib, that ain't gonna work again. So if Cloud9 are keeping Sib, those other 2 guys are gone. If Cloud9 are keeping those other 2 guys, Sib ain't gonna be there. That's the understanding. But if you're Sib and you've got the keys to Cloud9, hypothetically, who do you get as your AR duo for a main AR? I mean, obviously you're gonna look at guys like, I guess, Clay or Attach, certainly a candidate. Slasher, another top candidate. I also think if you're a team like Ravens, you should be looking at a guy like Slasher as well, because, you know, let's say it's Ravens and you can put Slasher and another AR like a flex player like a Geo together with a guy like Gwyn. All of a sudden, you're forming a pretty damn competitive team in my opinion. So yeah, we'll see where Slasher ends up, if anywhere. I mean, surely he's got to go somewhere. But it does become increasingly tricky when you have Miami Heretics with spots locked down, when you have Team Falcons with spots locked down. So you know, it's interesting to see how it goes. This I also just wanted to quickly mention here on the Dashy side, because when we were doing the breaking points at the Dope Trick show the other day, people were saying in the chat how Dashy has hinted before and may well hint again about the possibility of playing competitive Valorant at some point. Because if you look at Dashy's career now, like, he is surprisingly one of the older players now in the league. He's also achieved a lot now. I mean, like, his event win numbers don't stack up with many of the other great players, and of course he's going to want to win more events. But he's, you know, he's a champion, he's an MVP, and now he's a world champion, right? He finally got his ring over the line last season, or this most recent season. So from Dashy's perspective, perspective, he's kind of achieved on some level what he set out to do. Played for OpTic for many years, and there is therefore an argument that says, well, if Dashy doesn't really enjoy grinding COD anymore, as some of the other players have done over the last few years, could he just retire and go and do something else? Now, my feeling is that Dashy is not a player who can do an Octane, who can just retire and do content. I think Dashy is the type of guy that will need to be competing in something, but he has mentioned in the past that he potentially could try and compete in Valorant, and he feels like he could make that work. He has the connections over there as well to give him a good head start. So it's just something to keep in the back of mind this season, right? I feel like for most players that retire, you kind of see it coming, and for Dashy, I don't really think there's much evidence to say that he should. But there's a couple of pointers that may say he might at least think about it, depending on the situation next season. Los Angeles Thieves, by the way, we're pretty sure they're now basically locked in, and yeah, it seems like the deal is almost done, because on the 24th of September, as in yesterday, ReeaL the Monster over at 100T put together, or at least most recently modified, the Los Angeles Thieves 2025 file. So that probably implies that, you know, the announcement, if it hasn't happened by the time this video is going live, is coming very shortly. There are rumors that, you know, the boys, Scrap, Envoy, HyDra, those guys out there in LA recording the content, and this Nyon confirms that at least something has been happening over the last couple of days. Quickly, I thought this was kind of nice as well as we transition into some of the clips that I wanted to share for you guys. Hitch, here he is, sitting down around the bar episode with Ian, Crim6 Porter coming soon. This is going to be sensational, I'm sure. And, you know, Crim is actually racing, I think, this weekend. So the Sonoma Raceway in California, if you guys happen to be local, maybe you check it out for the weekend, I don't know. But it's the final round of the Porsche Sprint Challenge and another endurance round. So, well, it's interesting for Crim because he wants to win the races that he's entering, but also the endurance stuff is quite key for him, because he wants to get to the next level and try and compete in Le Mans one day. So it's his final round. I'm pretty sure he's got the championship long since sewn up, so he's guaranteed to be the winner of the entire season. But can he add a couple more stickers on the top of his car for winning a couple more races this weekend? We shall see, but it will be live on his Twitch as always. But a couple of clips I wanted to share for you guys. Firstly, this one, because we saw the other day Aiden did that tweet that said, hey, Aiden, Scump, Formal, we're teaming up for Warzone at the start of the new game, and then we're going to win the World Tour as a Warzone or whatever 2025. And as I said at the time, pretty damn unlikely that's going to happen, but I wouldn't say it's impossible at all that Aiden actually did reach out to these guys to see if there was any potential interest. And that's what Scump says. He's like, yeah, Aiden actually reached out to me, so maybe there is something in that. Hex was also talking about a few things on stream. Of course, we saw what he said the other day about, or yesterday we talked about the pay cuts, right, and just the general esports landscape right now as it stands. He also doesn't deny the possibility of Crim coming back to OpTic. I think a couple of months ago during the World Championship, it seems pretty likely, actually, that Crim might be announced as an OpTic member again in the relatively near future. Of course, as Hex says, on some level he is family, like he's always going to be part of OpTic on some level, right? The first ever World Championship winning and all the success he had with OpTic, well, that's a no-brainer. Now, yes, there's a bit of drama, right? Crim had a falling out with a number of players, with Scump, with Formal, like you guys know how it is. But obviously we saw the OpTic Legacy matches coming up soon on the 12th of October, and in addition we had the picture, right, that they've used to promote that, but the picture at the World Championship when Crim was there, and the whole OpTic Dynasty were there, and then they walked out, and then the main OpTic Texas team walked out. That was pretty legendary stuff, and obviously Crim was with FaZe, which has felt kind of strange for the last little while, but I don't think that relationship is continuing any longer, so the door is potentially open there for Crim to make a return. But I wanted to share quite an interesting clip here from Shotzzy, because he's made it very clear indeed over the last few days, and really the last couple of weeks, he loves the movement in Black Ops 6. He thinks the Omni movement's great. Obviously it suits him rather well in many respects as well, and you know, he's obviously pretty in tune with movement in a particular title, and he says that, yeah, Modern Warfare 3, sure, Sledgehammer, decent job with the maps, I think has been a feeling of many pro players. Of course, Shotzzy, world champion, MVP on this title, so you know, he's not exactly a bad player at it, but he reckons that the movement in some respects just is not good. He just doesn't like it, and he says it's not just because I was getting smoked in scrims that I was complaining. Like, I genuinely don't like some of the elements here of Modern Warfare 3. So yeah, if this is a game that Shotzzy didn't especially like or enjoy, then well, you've got to think about next year.
Any chance we see Porter back in the green wall in OpTic? Ah, man, you know, that's something that I would love to. Again, you know, he's one of those dudes that's part of the family. We'll always consider him part of the family. He's won so much for you guys that why the fuck fuck not? Let me tell you something about Scumper Jumper. Perfect example of somebody who just doesn't let the world affect the way that he does his job. There's one thing that I can count on is that every single day, I don't have to worry about him doing something to further himself, his career. He's on autopilot. Period. He don't bitch, he don't whine, he just fucking goes and does the fucking work. Just like me. Sometimes I have to, you know, make fun of him a little bit for him to do that, but 99.99999% of the time, like, you don't need to tell the boy nothing. Ahead of the game, sometimes, most of the time.
So yeah, we even got first time chatters coming in here. He said, "It's true you play with Aiden and Formal in the next Warzone?" Yo. Oh man. Yo, Aiden is a troll, dude. He actually did hit me up to play like a couple like kickoff Warzone tournaments. I told him we'll see. I don't really know. I don't want to commit to anything yet.
I'm not gonna lie, chat. I didn't really like this game, bro. I'll be honest. Like mechanically wise, I didn't like it. And the only reason why is because of this shit, dude. Look, I hate that because it makes you feel delayed, bro. The amount of times where I would get on, like, it doesn't feel better now. Like whenever I slide do it, like I actually feel pretty looser now. But there's been days, bro, where like I was so convinced my controller was overclocked because of like how delayed my like slide is, and like I'm on tack sprint, bro. That's why this shit feels nice. Yeah, if I was on double tap, whatever. Holy fucking shit, yo! I'm like this, dude. I'm like unplugging this shit. I'm looking in there, fucking changing my wires. I'm telling you, bro. I'm like the last one to talk about that shit too. I remember one day, dude. One day in practice, bro. Holy fucking shit, dude. I can't even remember if I was getting shit on. I don't even think I'd get shit on whenever I complain. I think I'm legit like frying, but I'm still saying it. Oh my god, I remember Vista actually.
So Shotzzy was pretty damn good at this most recent title, right? I mean, I think in many people's eyes, he was probably the 4th best player in the game. People had Simp, HyDra, Scrappy in some order as their top 3. You could probably put those 3 guys in any order. As far as I'm concerned, Scrap was the best AR, and then Simp and HyDra were nigh on tied for the best SMG in the game. Shotzzy was just a little bit, one step behind in terms of consistency and impact and stuff like this. I mean, Shotzzy was also, though, incredible this season and a deserved MVP as he was at the end of the year. But nonetheless, Shotzzy reckons, maybe could do better, right? If another game that he enjoys, that was always the case, for example, for Scump, that Scump was always better at the games that he absolutely loved. I mean, if you look at Scump's career, the games that he was grinding the most, playing the most pubs on, just absolutely 24 hours a day if he could, day in, day out. Those were also the games that he was the most effective on as a competitive player. So I think the same generally applies. And it's not like Shotzzy didn't play a lot of MW3. Obviously he did. But still, if he plays more Black Ops 6, stands to reason he might be even more impactful there. And the movement, let's be real, probably favours Shotzzy more this upcoming season than it did last year. Despite him still having a pretty damn good year. This I thought was pretty crazy though, that Scump has played for OpTic over 12 different titles. And it's not exactly remarkable to think, but like no one else is even close to that. Formal played for OpTic over 6 titles. Dashy has now played for OpTic over 6 titles. But Scump's record is just way too ridiculous to ever be even close to being matched. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.